Gua Sha stone? Yes. Do I love it? Yes. Do I use it consistently? The wellness space has felt extra consumery lately. From the mass exodus to wide leggings, to the latest fitness apps, to the newest biohacking gadgets, sometimes it can feel like you need all of this stuff in order to be healthy. So my goal for this video is to de-influence you, specifically in the space of lymphatic drainage. The truth is, with like so many things in life, the most important part about lymphatic drainage is actually consistency. Purchasing the best, most expensive Gua Sha stone or roller is not like a magic wand. It's not going to do anything unless you're using it. And just like you could use that Gua Sha stone or whatever other tool that you choose to purchase, you could also use other alternatives that could be just as effective. And we're going to be talking about those in this video. If you're totally new to lymphatics, we're going to do a little mini crash course. So your lymphatic system holds a lot of your immune function, and it also helps with fluid balance. It basically runs parallel to your cardiac system, except there's one super big difference, and it's that unlike your cardiovascular system, it does not have a pump. So in our cardiac system, we have our heart that is really helping to push our blood around. Our lymphatic system does not have a centralized pump, and so that means that it relies on one thing to really get things flowing, and that is movement. With the movement of our skeletal muscle, this actually helps to contract and pulse our lymph along so that we're able to clear the lymphatic drainage and keep the system flowing well. So basically, as we go along this video, just remember one key thing, and that's that anything that promotes movement is going to also in turn promote lymphatic health. Once you start doing these lymphatic drainage massages, you will get like this buildup of literal like gunk in the back of your throat. Periodically you will swallow it, which sounds kind of gross, but it's not quite enough to like hack up. And so my boyfriend and I refer to this as gunkers, and that's how we know that whatever we're doing is working well. There are some contraindications to it. One of the biggest ones is active infection. So if you do have lymph nodes that are extremely swollen, like if you're sick or if you have any like pimples, you just want to make sure that as you're going along that you just kind of avoid those areas. I've seen lymphatic drainage techniques like on social media. You see that they always put a bunch of oil on their face or they use their skincare. I personally feel like that gets kind of expensive, and it also makes my skin feel really oily, which I don't always love. So what I'll do, which has been the most simple for me, is that when I'm in the shower, I will open up my lymph nodes, and you're just gonna get cleanser, put it on your face. I feel like it's cheaper, it's easier, it's convenient because it's something that I'm already going to be putting on my face, and it's really effective, and it helps my fingers slide. It's literally so simple, and it's like the most ideal habit stack that I have done it every single day for probably at least 2 years. Another bonus to doing lymphatic drainage in the shower, just using your hands and cleanser, is that you don't have to clean anything extra. There's not like a gua sha or paddle or something that you have to rinse off and leave to dry, because I also don't like when I have like clutter around my bathroom, and I'm always nervous that the gua sha is gonna fall on the ground and break, and I have had that happen before. So I like that using my hands, it just kind of seems a lot more simple. I do have some honorable mentions though. I have these facial cupping cups from a brand called Primarily Pure, and I am absolutely obsessed with them. You're actually only supposed to use them like 2 to 3 times a week, and at night specifically, because your face kind of needs to rest afterwards. I do notice like if I do one full side of my face first, I'll notice that it's like more lifted, it just like looks less puffy, and then the other side of my face will still kind of look normal until I obviously even it out. And I do love these because I feel like out of all of the tools that I have, these create like the most impact for me, have the best function. However, I still haven't been able to get myself to do it consistently. So for me, I would still obviously just use my hands. And just in terms of ease and simplicity, I also really love Primarily Pure's body dry brush. I also have their facial dry brush, but same thing. I haven't really been able to get myself to use it consistently, but their body dry brush is really great because I have habit stacked it also with the shower. So what I'll do is I'll turn on the hot water, and while that is heating up, I will quickly just do a quick one over on my body just to get my lymph moving a little bit more, and that has been really helpful as well. So next time you are on social media and you see an ad or you see an influencer using all of these lymphatic drainage tools, know that they are a plus. It can be great to have them as a little extra self-care tool. However, they're definitely not necessary, and you do not need to spend extra money on them. Okay, now we are going to talk about these super fancy booties. The most common one is by a brand called Lymphatics, and their technical name is pneumatic compression device. Basically, what what this is we talked about how our lymphatic system needs a lot of movement, and what these do is that they will sequentially pump your blood and your lymph and kind of pulse it back up your legs, and that just helps to bring all of the fluid closer to your groin, which will eventually go to your primary lymphatic drainage duct. I work at an integrative medicine clinic, and I'm very lucky to have access to these, and sometimes, especially if I'm feeling sore after a workout, I will pop those bad boys on my lunch break and just wear them while I'm eating. However, I don't personally feel like spending $800 on them to have access to them at home, so there are a couple of other things I do instead. Movement of all forms is super beneficial, but the two main ones that we're going to be talking about are rebounding and yoga. So rebounding is typically done on a rebounder, aka basically like an adult trampoline, and not only is it really good for your inner child, just the movement of up and down works with the valves that are in our lymphatic system to really get things flowing and moving. You can buy relatively cheap trampolines, like mini trampolines, that you can just keep like under your bed while you're not using them. They're around like $80 to $100 on Amazon, but personally, sometimes I'll just get up and just jump up and down or do some jumping jacks, and I feel like it low-key does the exact same thing. Maybe not the exact same, but it's pretty effective. Yoga is also really fantastic because the gentle movement is really good for getting our lymph moving. Yoga with Adriene actually has a few vinyasa series that are specifically tailored to your lymphatic system, and I've done them before, and I can guarantee you that I get a lot of gunkers when I do them. Another amazing benefit of yoga is that part of the practice entails connecting your breath with your movement. And if you look at this diagram of how our lymphatic system works, our primary pathway for drainage is actually really close to our diaphragm. So when we take really deep, intentional diaphragmatic breaths, we will actually also stimulate our lymphatic system in a really positive way. So you can do that with yoga. You can also just do it with breath work. On YouTube, there is a channel, his name is Breathe with Sandy, maybe Breath with Sandy. No, it's definitely Breathe with Sandy. And even when I'm doing his meditations, like in the mornings, I can also feel my lymphatic system moving because again, I'll get gunkers. And so that's my body's way of knowing that like, oh, there's stuff moving and flowing. And again, you don't have to have any fancy $800 equipment. You can just do a free YouTube video in the mornings and get a very effective result. Something else that feels so good, especially after a long day of work or road trip or anything that you're just feeling like your legs are kind of swollen, legs up the wall. This is, I feel like, a totally underrated thing. I will do legs up the wall off the head of our bed. So when I first get into bed, especially after a long day, I'll get my Kindle out, and as I'm winding down reading before bed, I will also have my legs up the wall, and I literally feel something happening because it feels really nice. And so this is another quick, easy, and cheap way to get your lymphatic system moving. And one last thing in terms of like devices or tools for movement that not a lot of people talk about is actually compression socks. No, they are not just for the elderly. I have been wearing compression socks religiously. I'm a nurse, so every single clinical rotation, every single shift, whether I'm at a hospital or whether I'm in the clinic, I'm legitimately always wearing these. I also wear them on most like road trips and airplane rides because my mom's side of the family, everyone gets really swollen legs, and I get really swollen legs, unfortunately. And so this just helps overall so that I don't feel as uncomfortable. So similar to the pneumatic compression devices, it actually is helping to squeeze your muscle so that it's squeezing blood flow and lymph back up your legs so it doesn't all get pulled down there throughout the day. And it also helps prevent varicose veins, and who doesn't want that? I currently have 3 pairs on rotation from Bombas, but I'm not super in love with them. So the next set that I get will probably be these from Features. I like that they have a right and left foot, and they provide a lot of extra arch support, and I feel like that would just feel just super yummy, especially when I'm at work running around and I just need a little extra pep in my step. And another thing that a lot of people talk about when talking about lymphatic health is saunaing. Saunaing is fantastic. It's so good for us. It literally helps remove toxins from our bodies because, as I talked about in a previous video, our skin is actually a really major detoxification organ, and it's how toxins can get out of our body. So the more that we sweat, the more that we are helping our bodies to cleanse themselves. However, saunas can be kind of pricey. Even if you get a gym membership or something like that, it's sometimes hard to make it out there. Having an in-home sauna isn't necessarily realistic for everyone, not only because of money, but also because of space. So thankfully, I was able to snag a very discounted infrared sauna blanket from one of my friends. But there's something that's even simpler that I have really loved doing and feels so luxurious, and it's taking a bath. Obviously, saunas serve a bit of a different purpose. They also have the benefit that they could have like things like infrared and red light. However, I started taking baths and I realized that I sweat. Like sometimes I'll have a face mask on and it'll just be dripping down my face. You start to sweat, it's gonna start to melt, and I always have to like pick it out of my mouth, pick it out from around my eyes, but it's worth it. The really nice thing about baths is that they're super inexpensive, they feel really good, and you can do other things like watch a show or drink some tea or do other things that are really going to help relax you and get you into that Zen mode. You can buy like a $5 bag of fragrance-free Epsom salt from Amazon from a brand called Dr. Teal's, or there's a lot of other non-toxic brands that also make bath salts like Primally Pure, that's the one that I use, and you'll just have a whole vibe. The Epsom salts have a lot of magnesium and other minerals that will be absorbed into your body while you're taking the bath. But if you do not have a bath at your house, do not worry, because basically anything that gets you sweaty will also help to move your lymph and clear toxins. So if you don't have a bath, you can just do a really intense workout at home or at a gym, and that will also be really beneficial. So I'm at the gym. I'm doing like a 12-3-30 sequence where I'm doing 10 minutes on, lifting, coming back. I'm sweating. You don't need a sauna, you don't need expensive things, get that sweat on. All in all, it can be really easy to live on either side of the extreme and make ourselves really stuck. So on one hand, we can be like, oh my gosh, in order to be healthy, in order to have a healthy lymphatic system, I would have to spend all this money that I either don't have or I have, but I just don't want to spend. And so I'm just not going to do anything at all. And then on the other hand, we have purchased all these things that we don't even use, but then we see an ad for something else and we think that getting this latest and greatest tool is going to actually be the thing that makes us use it. And then we're met with the harsh reality that we have all this stuff and we still don't even use it. So ultimately, it does not matter what tool you have or what tool you don't have. What matters is that you are doing some form of lymphatic drainage consistently. How you do it and what you do is completely up to you. So this calls for a little bit of self-experimentation. Try doing it before a shower, in the shower, after the shower. Try using a serum, try using an oil, try using cleanser. Try to see if it's easier for you to do longer sessions a few days a week versus shorter sessions more frequently. Try it at different times of day. Just try different things and see what sticks. I hope this video helped you see that you do not have to spend a bunch of money to be healthy. That is actually one myth about wellness, especially going on right now, like I said, in this more consumeristic age. So if you want to hear more wellness tips that can help you stay vibrant even into old age, go ahead and click this video.